There it is, guys. It's the one with the blue fender. So I just bought an entire building full of antique motorcycles and parts, and it made it my personal mission to get every bike fired back up and running. Now, you guys know we're the museum that runs here at Wheels Through Time, so if this 1937 Harley Davidson is gonna stay here, you know it's gotta fire up and run. Today, we're gonna dive into the history of this bike, tackle all this rust and grime, and see if this bike's a keeper, or if we just send it down the road. These tires are flat. So the fella that owned this bike amassed a huge pile of motorcycles. He was from Dubuque, Iowa, actually collected since 1962, 60 years. This fella amassed his collection. This bike today is the topic at hand. So fingers crossed, in just a short amount of time, you're gonna see this bike make noise once again. So, yeah, and man, it's crazy. Just trying to figure out what it is. It's a 1937 Harley Davidson flathead. So 87-year-old motorcycle, almost 90 years old this bike is. And I see first glance, you can read parts from like 10 different years on it straight away. The redeeming quality of this bike, though, is the rarity of that engine. It's one of the reasons that I chose this bike to crank up. It's a 1937 Harley Davidson model WLD. The WLD was Harley Davidson's high performance 45 cubic inch engine. It was the first year for that model. Incredibly special. And we don't have one here at Wheels Through Time. This thing is crusty, Chris. I mean, it looks just like a hodgepodge Johnny Cash special of parts. It's 100 different colors, and you got black, red, that's like a peacock blue.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, look at the pitting on the bars. Engine is pretty undisturbed looking. It's got newer plugs in it. Champion's our favorite. We're probably gonna have 2 tires to change, at least 2 tubes, missing a handlebar grip. But obviously we need to find a seat, and seats are fewer and far between around here nowadays. Military floorboards, that's weird.
And guys, it looks like the same guy. You know, the wiring under here is just getting creative.
Creative, and they spray painted it too. Does that come off? Funky headlights, no floorboard over on this side. He's got a foot peg, but no board. Wonder if he's racing it. Those tiny little handlebars. Oh, man. Throttle spins. Does the throttle turn? Does it do anything?
Yeah, it's turning.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the tanks. Oil tank, dipstick in there?
Yep.
Is there any oil?
It's maybe just a little.
Yeah, maybe just a little. It's oily. I don't know if there's oil in there or not. That's okay. Gas tank. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Clean as a whistle. Brr. Well, let's go ahead and jump right in, Chris. I mean, that's the first thing. Let's see if this thing will actually, if the tires are actually hold air before we get too far, because we might start having to take wheels off.
Yeah.
Wow. That's actually holding air, and that's an original tube. 18 on the front, and the back, this is the one I'm worried about. 16-inch tire on the back. Uh-oh.
Is that the tube or the valve core?
I don't know. Well, I don't know where it's leaking from, but it's definitely leaking. So we got air in the front tire, no air in the rear. The best way to do this is going to be for us to put this thing up on the lift.
Okay.
Awesome, man, this thing, it rolls nice for it sitting as long as it has. You know, and that's the thing. There's no telling how long this bike's actually been sitting. The fella that collected it, his name was Dave Hogan. Dave amassed all this stuff, and the crazy thing is just about nothing ran when we got to the garage. So not to say it won't run with a little bit of elbow grease. You can hear that tire leaking down. But Dave had an eye for some really cool bikes, but as far as we can tell, never got to breathing life back into a lot of the stuff. So today, whoa, we'll talk about that in a minute. Holy smokes, bring it down. So guys, for those of y'all that follow the museum, and if you don't follow, make sure you subscribe. For those of you that do though, you've probably heard about our annual raffle bike. It's one of the things that keeps the museum up and going. So if you haven't got tickets on this year's bike, make sure you snag them. WinThisBike.com. Yeah, or click down below the video, get your tickets. November 23rd, we're giving this motorcycle away to one lucky winner. I hope they ride it home. Okay. Down. So we know the wheel's got to come off.
So before we lift it, you want to go and put the jack under it and take that?
We may as well, you know, and then we've got a battery. Good luck getting that battery out of that battery box.
Yeah.
I can't figure out what's going on with this dash. It's way high, man. Dash is higher than Snoop Dogg at a Bob Marley concert. Yeah. Oh, I see what they did. So if you look at this, let me get a wrench. So what they did, early speedometer 41 to 6. This dash is later. It looks like the dash base is later. I don't think the dash base will actually drop down any lower. See, what they did is they had these spacers underneath here. The spacers are for the earlier dash base and the earlier dash cover. They've got this late dash on here, just one more mix and match, you know, like the amount of years
that are represented here.
That are represented on this. You know, you've got 41 to 6. Speedometer, 41 probably with the chrome bezel, 42 dash base or 47 dash base. These risers are like 49. The gas tanks are kind of like WLA-ish gas tanks, maybe 1942. So right there's 4 years. There's 37 on the engine, 5 years so far. The 18-inch wheel in front, like 1940-ish.
6 years.
6 years. The front, the fork leg is 41 and up, or 40 and up. Fork leg, I can't read the number. There's a number we could key into the exact year a little better. Headlight bracket, totally homemade. Crash guard, who knows? The carburetor, M88, that's 1942 to 45 military. The rear fender's wide brace, 47 and up. Transmission, 41 and up transmission. So you got like 8 years just in a first glance represented in parts here.
So of the 3 types of motorcycle guys your dad used to say exist, put her together, take her aparters, and leave her aloners, this guy was definitely a put her together.
That's
what he had.
That's assuming he did it. Yeah, totally a put her together, but I don't even know that he did this. He could have bought the bike just like this, which would make him
a leave it aloner. So they did this just so this would fit on the over top of the tank.
See,
right?
If you look at a 1947 dash, this is neat. So the 47 dash, guys, what we're talking about is this relief right in here on the gas tank. And you see how this here is rounded for that kind of round shaped dash base. So we got this round shaped dash base here that would have settled right on top of those spacers, right in place of this. Unfortunately, I already got a home for this, or else we'd be switching the dash up. Maybe we switch it up anyway. That's a lot of work, but it's probably going to be worth it. And then these never sat on spacers on that dash base.
Just sat on the frame.
It sat lower. So again, like a bunch of parts that never actually knew each other, put all together, or were never intended on being together. The more I'm looking at the bike, it's a 37 engine. I wonder if the frame's 37. Let's bring this thing up.
Okay.
All right. See, it's got that 40 transmission, 41 and up transmission in it. Oh, yeah, there you go. It was looking big here, the 37, one of the hardest parts to find, period, harder than the engine, is a 1937 Harley-Davidson 45 frame. It's one of the reasons that there's not a complete restored or original 37 Harley in the museum, is that early frame is tough to find. It was weaker, and a lot of the times they got replaced. Case in point example, this down here, that extra transmission mount there is the dead giveaway 1940s frame. Master links in backwards. I mean, come on.
And how many master links does this one have?
I see 2 already, which is one too many. They're both in wrong. They're both in, so it wasn't an accident. They're both in wrong. 37, it's not a 37 gas tank. It's got the fuel shut off over there. That's kind of a bummer that the frame doesn't match the engine. And it kind of makes me, it's a long way from being a keeper. This thing better run.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't run, there's definitely our answer. And if it does run, it may or may not run good. So
Well,
we're a ways
the
from
one thing
figuring
about
out.
it is, you know, as we're keeping history, it's like it represents a period of history where guys were building custom hot rod bikes, building what they could with what they had, you know.
It's a good point. It's a good point. And that's one of the things, you know, it's what we do here at the museum is every bike is worth saving. Be ashamed to see this thing get dropped down to parts. It's what we do, is get them fired up, running, keep the history alive. So let's get going, Chris, here. All right, there we go. So Chris, you're gonna go right underneath the belly of the frame, I guess.
Okay.
That's probably good.
Back in here?
Okay, yeah. Ready?
Yep.
2, 3.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Okay. Wheel comes out. Chris got the needle nose for the brake rod disconnected. We've got our axle nut wrench right here, metric and standard. We're gonna go ahead and drop this master link out with the screwdriver, the hammer, and the drift. This chain has certainly been more lubricated than it is at this moment.
You know that when someone passes away, that your eyes are the last thing to work.
Your what?
Your pupils are the last thing to work.
Your pupils.
Yeah, because they dilate.
Stick to your wrenching job, buddy.
I'm in a mode.
All right. You know, Chris, I'll tell you what. While I'm peeling this rear wheel off, anything
coil
that's dry,
everything. Yep.
everything. We're gonna use the wrench that you're supposed to. I'm gonna get an axle nut wrench for the other one. Nice hat, Chris.
Ah, yes, brand new Wheels Through Time hat. You guys can get yours below. Show your support for the museum in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's nice. You know what? If we're changing the tire, let's ditch the white walls.
Friends don't let friends ride white walls.
Friends do not let friends run white walls. That's rule number 7 around the shop here. Star hub in the back. That's a whole wheel. No, we're not using that wheel. Saw this just a second ago, and that lightly used, but it's got more tread than this other one here. All right, so we got axle, brake shoes. Look pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're worn a little bit, but it's not bad. Spider's nest. Yeah, that's nice. Speedometer drive is really clean. I bet that speedo will work. Chris, let's get the valve core tool out. Probably not gonna work, it's plastic. Oh, it works.
All right.
And then can you grab those bead breakers, the big plastic ones, and some tire spoons? That's pretty new though, the valve core, so I wonder if we even have a tube. No! Yes. Yes. Got a good tube. Bingo. Just a little bit of air in there. Thanks. Chris, one day I'm gonna learn you how to do my tire changing trick.
Your patented Matt Walksler tire changing?
Patented Matt Walksler tire changing procedure. Let's not use a metal hammer. Yes, sir.
How much do you like in there?
Just a little, just enough to get the thing so it's not folding over on itself. I can always let it out. How about a little croil? This is gonna get dirty really quick. Yep. Second one. Ready? Watch your face. There we go. That was nice. Get a tire machine, they said. It'll be way easier. Yeah. Now, under normal circumstances, we wouldn't have to pull the whole tire off, but because friends don't let friends run white walls, completely not era correct. I'm not dissing you if you got new white walls on your Harleys, on your new Harleys, but these old 1930s and 40s bikes, they just look better without them. You're gonna jump in on this part, Chris.
Okay.
Pull that tube out of there first. There you go. You got it. Okay. You take 2 of these, pull them both back, further back. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Brilliant. Rim from, yeah, there it is. Rim 40 F-705. The actual year it was produced, I think it says 41 on there. Cool, okay. Give me that tire if you would. Okay. Oh no, this tire's been sitting a while. A little stiff. There we go. Frost. Alright, so. Okay. The valve core tucked in. Pop it all this way, let a little more air out. Get the big hammer. Nice. I don't think I pinched that one. Okay. A little coil on the bead because it's kind of dry. All right. I think we're in.
Ready?
Yep. A little more. Good. What do you at? 50?
It's 40.
Okay. Great. All right. We in business with a tire that's just as old and a little more tread. Pretty nice. Brake. Now we got to, Chris, when we slide this in, make sure, bring it all in this way, and I got to get that brake anchor. Yeah, nice. Slid right in. Okay, you go spacer and axle nut. Don't remember how our adjustment was. Let's go ahead and correct our master links. Master link clips anyway. And clip. Chris, before we go kicking that thing over, I suppose we better lubricate the cylinders. So if you want to pop those plugs out,
Yep.
we're absolutely going to switch them to something less offensive. There we go. There's some master links. I'm not crazy about these master links either.
Yeah.
How did I lose that master link? Yeah, you know what? It looks like it was running a little rich, but better than white.
Yeah.
Yeah, Champion D16s, guys. You hear us talk about the Champion plugs all the time, and I shouldn't just make the blanket statement, I hate Champion plugs. Panhead, shovelhead, those J12Ys are good plugs. And you know what? There was a period where Champion was the best. I just never run them on the flatheads and knuckleheads. You settle into a plug you like. I've had great luck with Autolite 386s. Those old D16 Champions are for the birds, for the nerds. Those are my words.
You want me to go ahead, when you're done with that, go ahead and connect the brake back up?
Yeah, we'll hook the brake up. Next, what we're gonna do, Chris, you can climb up on the bike and we'll give it some kicks.
Yep.
Look at the cracks in that sidewall.
Just like you like it.
Keep it sketchy, guys. All right, seeing about compression, please don't be a stuck valve here. Oh, we got it on the front. I got it on the rear. Yeah. Nice.
Good?
Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
I like it. Yeah, that's the good part about this engine, guys, is flathead's incredibly durable. These flatheads, the WLs, they had to circulate in oil systems. I mean, these things run for absolutely ever. Chris, let's check the timer. Wow, that sucker's stuck on there. And we're gonna have to bail. Come on. Oh yeah. Any guesses on points? Any guesses on how it looks? Chris, what do you think?
We've seen them look a lot worse and still look good. So it's like that cap usually does a pretty good job.
Judging by the rest of the bike, the points are probably from a Chevy. No, they're Harley Davidson. Those are original Harley Davidson points, albeit with a adapted spring here. And the points gap itself, we got a feeler gauge around here. Let's find that feeler gauge. That's not a matchbook, Chris. The points look perfect. Maybe they're a little bit narrow, a little tight.
So sadly, the bottom of the box is rusted out on this side.
Oh, they're all rusted.
But it does give me some leverage in here to
get
a little
pull the
push
thing
on
up. Yeah, there it comes. Yeah, let me get us, you got a 7?
Yep.
Yep.
And again, three different sizes of household wire is running everything on these bikes.
Well, come on out of there. Come on out. Oh, that thing is nasty. Definitely gonna need a new battery. We knew that. Everyone does. Whoa, okay, rear wheel's done. And cracking like crazy. There are burnouts on that tire though. We're worried about that battery in a bit. Chris, let's pull the timing plug.
Okay.
We've got the plugs out so we can go ahead and spin this engine over. We're gonna need to find out when we're coming up on compression on the front cylinder though. On a Harley-Davidson crankshaft on that left side flywheel, there's a timing mark. So it's a 4-stroke engine. That timing mark's gonna come up twice. So you're on a front cylinder, you have intake, compression, combustion, exhaust, and on the rear cylinder, intake, compression, combustion, exhaust. So as that thing spins, it's crucial to make sure you're on the right stroke when that timing mark comes up. So the timing mark's going to come up on the compression stroke, but it's also going to come up on the exhaust stroke. We want to time this, want these points to break on that compression stroke. So Chris, I'm going to bump, you know what, let's put it in gear.
That's in second there.
Doesn't feel like, oh yeah, clutch out. No, out.
Yeah, that's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not in gear. That's not good.
Anything there?
Nothing. Yeah, there we are. So it's an adjustment issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna spin this engine over. Okay, the intake valve's coming up. So now we ought to be coming up on the timing mark, Chris.
Okay. Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
In the Harley manual, it says time these flatheads with that timing mark right there in the middle of the hole, and time your overhead valve stuff with the timing, time that overhead valve, the knuckleheads, panheads, shovelheads, with the timing mark tipped to the back of the hole. I like to cheat a little bit more towards advanced. They just seem to run a little bit better, and with modern fuel, you know, these things are different than they were back then, you know. Now wait a second. That's where the timing mark's at?
Mm-hmm. It's right there just coming into the hole like we normally do.
Man, this... No, it's not on the wrong low. Well, kind of. It's not. You can rotate this thing freely, but come over here. So you see that little notch right there? Mm-hmm. That's right approximately where the points are designed to break. Now, this distributor bail is designed to sit like this so you can remove it and get your points cap off. If we spin this thing all the way around, all the way to over there, nothing even lines up. It's not gonna work. So what we gotta do is actually pull this whole timer off, pull the distributor out, not start over, but we'll raise it up and rotate it. You're sure we're on the timing mark over there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Looking at this, I don't know how the bike ever would have run. Not to say that it never ran. Obviously, it's an old motorcycle that left the factory running, but guys tend to monkey with stuff, and yeah, there we go. You see what's going on here? Check this out. This notch, and actually I may be a little further away than I need to be. Let's see that. So this notch right here, and as you put it in, it rotates because you got the gear mesh. I like it to be cheated just a little forward. There, I like that. That's what we're gonna run with. So now we've got the distributor base set. We still have to time it. So what I'm also noticing too is it doesn't have a timer cable.
Yeah.
So maybe I got an old used timer cable, or maybe we just spring it towards advanced.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have a grip over there either. Chopper style. We're coming up on points, but you know what? Let me lock this back in. We're gonna set this at full advance. Timing mark in the hole.
Yep, still in the same spot.
Very rarely do you nail it. There we go. Brake pedal's a little bit in the way. I wonder if it's got brakes. Okay, we're tight. So points are just barely broken. Okay. Well, you can put the timing plug back in. Nice job. All right, now we're not gonna check lift or adjustment or anything. We're gonna assume that, you know, there's not a bunch of oil puked all over this bike. It is a little rusty and grimy, but I think we ought to be just fine with lifter adjustment, and if it needs it, we'll go ahead and make the adjustments and lift those up later. But now we're on to checking to see if we got spark. So the guy I got this bike from had some incredibly cool stuff, you know, had 2 barns full of parts. Mr. Hogan collected all this stuff all these years, and as far as I can tell, doesn't look like he ever actually ran this bike. It's been mixed matched, and I wouldn't say disabled, it was just far enough from not being able to run. So we're making good progress, but there's plenty left to do. One of the cool things about the Harley-Davidson WLD, in 1937, they debuted that circulating oil system, and it really revamped the whole industry, you know, or at least for Harley-Davidson. Indian was actually a couple years ahead of Harley-Davidson in debuting that circulating oil system. 1937, first year for the W model. It gets pretty crazy and technical. All the letters in these models actually mean something. This is a model WLD. 45 inch, the W, 45 inch circulating oil. L, high compression. D, high performance. So ultra rare stuff. It's one of the only 37 WLD engines I've ever seen, which is really one of the reasons, it's the main reason why this bike really turned me on. We don't have a 37 in the museum, and we definitely don't have a 37 high performance one in the museum. So we noticed the bike was all mixed up, parts from all sorts of different years. I'm really hoping that this bike runs and runs good. That's when we're gonna decide, do we leave it alone just as it is with all this kind of period character and, you know, Johnny Cash. What's the song? The
One
Johnny
piece at a
Cash song?
time.
One piece at a time.
It's a 37, it's a
37,
38,
47,
41,
41,
42.
42, 43, 51. Hellings bars, I don't know. Those bars are, oh, they're incredible. We need a seat. So we're not gonna leave it alone totally, we know that. At the same time, if everything on this is pretty ratted out and functionally not up to snuff, maybe we yank this engine and restore it into a real 1937 WLD model. So that's the thing about this. It's never gonna be an all 37 bike. Wrong frame, wrong fork, wrong tanks, wrong fenders. Actually, that front fender, it's a butterfly tab fender. Man, do you know what a butterfly tab fender is? Oh, in 1936 and 37, when they came out with these fenders, right up under here, that's what we call a butterfly tab, and it's only on 1936 and 37 fenders. The fender may actually be the right fender for, wait, no. That's a 37 big twin fender, wider braces. You know what, Chris?
Yeah.
When I was loading up there in Iowa, I think I have a fender to match
the front one?
To match the front one, an actual like peacock blue. You guys got a second? Chris, you filling the battery?
Yep.
While you're getting the battery hooked up, I'm gonna run out to the trailers and see if I actually have that fender. Because if I do, what do you got? 2, 4, 6, 7 bolts to pull the fender off. Let's see if we got one. Okay, oh, there it is. Oh, it's a Servicar fender. Wait, no, here it is. Oh, no. No joke. Look at that. Look, it's red underneath. Dang, son. Here's the bad news. It's a big twin fender. Wait. No, that's another Servicar fender. So big twin fender, guys. The chain's set up to drive on this side and not the other side. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. Oh, it's a front fender. We do need a footboard. We need one military footboard. And we need a seat. We know we need a seat. I can deal with that. Hello there, good stuff, that's it. We're gonna run with that. It's kind of a win. It's kind of a win, mate. Wait, this. Johnny Cash it is. Looks like we're gonna leave it what it is. So, which is probably best for now. No luck on a fender.
But you got a seat.
I have a seat.
Oh, and a dash.
A dash, but it's the wrong dash.
Unless we change the
base. I looked for a base out there. I didn't find a base. I'm not really sure I want to use that base. I had that all built up for next year's raffle bike. It might just be a sign.
Yeah.
You know, rather than go to the every last mile to correct it.
So battery's filled, hooked up.
Yeah.
I hadn't turned the switch on yet, but no smoking, no smells.
Oh, I see a light here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a headlight?
Headlight's disconnected here.
Okay. Flick those points, see if you get anything.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. We got to clean the points just a little bit. Oh, yeah. There's our arc. You see it, guys? Nice. And how about number 2?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that one's a hot one there. Yeah, baby.
Hey.
Next. What do we got?
Well, we still got carburetor because as much
Yeah,
much gas as it's in here, I'm sure it's going to be.
And is there even a fuel line on it?
There is a fuel line.
There is a fuel line.
Yeah.
Is it even flowing? Okay, so there's one issue. And that main nozzle is stuck.
You know, the one difference between this and Johnny Cash is when they tried to put his car all together, they ran into problems. But with Harley, you could mix and match these years with relatively no issues.
That's true. It all lines up. Ugh, this is gonna be ugly, I can already tell. What do we got? Guesses? Cork float, brass float, nitrophil float.
Brass.
Cork. Doubt it would never run. Ooh, Steve's the big winner. It's actually really clean. Let's pull it all apart. Oh my gosh, doesn't really want to go.
Okay, we're flowing on the fuel line. Check it out, Steve. It's a geyser.
You know what? The carb's really nice and complete, and it looks like it's made up of a lot of good parts. The discouraging part is when the main nozzle, which is what atomizes the fuel, gets stuck inside of the carburetor throat, and getting that out is really difficult. So I think our answer on this is probably going to be tap it. Oh, nice. It's spinning. It's going to come out anyway. Oh, man, this is a easy time. Yeah, look how plugged up the holes were. The top hole's the only open hole, 4 holes on the nozzle. Wow. The more it all kind of just hangs in the balance as far as what we're gonna do with the bike, man. Like right now, I feel like the motor's gotta come out and we gotta restore the bike into something else.
Yeah.
There it is. That changed it up. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, here we go. What if it runs great? What do we do?
It's hard, I mean, because it's like, I see the potential, since we don't have one, of restoring it back to original. But then there's also the whole thing of, you know, when people see one that looks that ratty and it fires up and runs perfectly, does exactly what it's supposed to do, you know.
There's an allure to it, you
Yeah.
know, and so goes the difference between restoration and conservation. It's a judgment call every time, you know. Yeah, and you can look at something and say, oh, it's going to be worth more like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a tough call, man. Throttle plate only goes in one direction.
Isn't that your favorite band, Chris?
One Direction? You know, it is the 90s, what can I say?
We got one plug left. Put this float on and we'll get it remounted. How's the gasket look over there?
We probably need a new one.
Okay, I got him here. So far, this bike has been relatively straightforward, but there's really no telling what we're gonna run into. It seems a little bit low on compression with the finger test. We didn't do a compression check with a gauge or anything. Okay, we're set up there. Got a flat screwdriver. I guess we can put that super ugly dash back on. Do we even wire a headlight? There is no tail light.
Yeah.
Brake. What is it? You think that brake works? You think that rear brake works?
Yeah, let me spin and see.
Here, let me get you out of gear.
Yep. Ready?
Yeah. Seems to work.
Still in gear.
Oh, still in gear. So we've got shifter adjustment for
Yeah.
certain. Okay, so that's first gear?
Well, that's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shifter adjustment, number 1. Okay. Then we also need a floorboard. We're set on that. 1, 2. Chris, I think we're getting really close. Why don't you put the dash on?
Okay.
I need to find a grip. I don't know if I have a set of those or not.
Come on, you got everything.
Oh, nope, that. Maybe. What if that was a real Flanders grip? Oh, nothing in here. Wait. Oh, and another short one. Look at that little cute guy with that cool grip on it. I don't like it. Don't like it.
So there is a piece of bare wire here.
It's this piece?
Yes.
Is that just the jump, or is that part of the... No, that's coming out of the harness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where's it go to that front one? We'll check it when we bring it down.
Okay.
What do we got here? Short. Oh, it's perfect. Here might also be a perfect length, but it's a little dented.
Okay, we got oil in the trans too.
Oil in the transmission?
Yep.
Come on, look at that. That fit beautifully. So there's our one. Chris.
Nice.
Our shifter adjustment, we couldn't get all of first. That means we need to pull it back, which means we need to extend the rod. Neutral. Are we in neutral? That's second. I don't like that. Don't tell me the dang pattern is wrong. Second. Third. Oh no. No. The transmission shift pattern's backwards for the gate. It's like the gate on Shoeless Joe. It had. No wonder Chris was having a tough time finding that. The gearing, it's backwards. Yeah, and there it doesn't have the throw to get to it, so I need to bring it back in. It may have actually. So, okay. All right. You're never going to guess, dude.
What's that?
The shift pattern's backwards.
How does that?
Take the transmission out. No, I'm just kidding. We're just going to shift it backwards.
Yeah.
We're just going to live with it.
2 quarts of oil in.
Let's do 2 quarts. Which, I mean, I sure like that pattern, but the gate's backwards. Right now, I'm feeling like this thing is absolutely coming apart. But if it runs good, maybe it stays together. If it runs poorly, I'm gonna yank this engine out tonight and start the restoration process on an actual 37s. If it runs good, maybe we just leave it together for a while and start throwing the right parts at it, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, we have no air cleaner, don't need it. Now, what we also need is another military floorboard. May as well.
So I've got oil in the tank, so I'm gonna crack this fuel line here just to bleed any air out. So you just pop this open here and make sure you've got oil coming down. Yep, see? Oil. So now you know all the air is bled out of that line. So when the engine fires, you've got oil to the engine.
Here we go. Look, how good of a match. And not that good of a match. That one's all chrome, but hey, they're on other sides, opposite sides of each other. You can't see both sides of the bike at the same time. Okay, guys, there's not much left. We're getting this scrappy floorboard. We've done an absolute ton so far. Overall, the bike was fairly complete when we started, but oh, you know what? We need the seat, Chris. Maybe disassemble that off the T. Yep. Made some really crazy discoveries too while we were doing this. One, is it mixed up? Yes. Is it possibly gonna come apart and never be in this form again? Yes. Does it have the cool factor? Let us know what you think in the comments. There you go. Nice shabby seat, shabby bike. Yeah, this seat very likely came off this bike. Okay. Okay. Yeah, not bad, man. So we're gonna bring it down and correct that wiring issue. And I think we may be ready to run. Wow. No doubt. Could we switch them?
Should you switch them?
Should we? Could we? Nothing like worrying about the cosmetics before we get the bike going. See if you can pop that right on there.
Yep.
Does it go?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, and look at this. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
There's a pair of them. Oh, yes. All right, so we got, what do we have? That little section of wire, and that goes to, oh, I don't even know why it goes there. Look, that one doesn't even have a terminal. It's just wrapped.
And that's the main lead coming from the battery.
That's the main, nice, really nice.
Okay, I'm gonna go get us some gas.
Good idea. Okay, I think that'll get us. I think it's all out of the way enough. We're looking pretty solid. I wonder if it charges. Do you think it charges? Surely it doesn't charge. We got new plugs. We got, do you want to pump some oil in that timing plug?
Yeah.
Yeah. That way we know there'll be something down there. Man, look at that high boy dash. It's an air-cooled dash. It's air-cooled. All right, this is where it gets fun, guys. If you hadn't had fun already, the fun's about to start when we find out we gotta pull the whole engine apart, put some gas in it. Any guesses on kicks, Chris?
I'm gonna say 5.
5 kicks!
Yeah.
The guy's confident.
What are you saying?
I can be confident on the first kick.
Ooh.
And I mean one kick after fuel.
Okay.
All right.
Fuel on.
Fuel on. We'll get the carburetor dinker. One kick live. Oh, what we also didn't do, we need a spring because we didn't do the spark advance cable. I mean, we could just wire it to full advance, and we need that bolt. And we need that top bolt. Yeah, thanks. It's just gummy. You see that?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
You got daylight? You got threads?
Yeah, I got threads.
There you go. There's that once you get it on.
I'll probably, because I've got the distributor.
You could probably just hold it then.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
All right. And I got you a piece of wire here too for the
Piece of wire for the...
wire to.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead. All right, well, this is not by the book. Not by the book, but we're gonna take the shortcut because we wanna ride it right now. Let's go! Okay.
No fuel leak.
No fuel leak, that's good. So ought to be a couple choke kicks. One kick live, ready? Tell me when we got fuel.
Oh yeah. Plenty of fuel.
You ready?
Yep.
One kick. I know it, I feel it. I feel it. Oh, thought so. Come on, where you at? Whoo, Matt was wrong. Not a pop. Let me, wait.
We're puking fuel.
Wait a minute, am I? All right, we weren't on. Here we go. One kick. Yeah, all right. All right. Yeah, you got a much smaller spark down there. There's no black smoke coming out of the pipe. All right, all right. Let's pull this sucker out, man. The front brake does not work. Rear brake works a little. All right, man, let's do it. Any bets? Hey, there you go. Come on now. Is going on with that? There's something holding this thing back. You know, this thing sat. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Something's up. No.
No?
Oh wait. Did it? I think it could be right up there. Do you have the temperature?
Yeah.
Feel? 357. No, man, they're running right next to each other. 270. Well, you know, intake port's hotter. You know, it's like it. All of a sudden, it was running fine, and then. Now I feel like the clutch might be slipping.
Used to be better. Whatever he was pushing through in that pipe, though, is sticky.
Not a powerhouse. Here, dude, give me the tools, jump on it. Not bad, guys. I call it a success. Bike runs okay. If you dig what you see, make sure you subscribe. Check out either one of these 2 videos. We got a ton more bring it back to life stuff coming your way. We'll see you next time.
Are you gonna keep it or part it?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Keep it, leave it, part it out, put it back together in a new form, I think is the answer.